Good morning, Canadian Yarn Hoard. Today we're going to be making this wonderful bag. I don't think I'm going to be making it quite as large, so I am going to be making a smaller version. The face will be a little different, so I'm going to move you over to the overhead cam and I'll talk to you about the details there. Alright, so for this particular project I'm going to be using a yarn that I did get from Walmart many years ago. So it is called the Dolce Loves Delight. It is a bulky 6, so if you can find a bulky 6 that you like, this one recommends a 6. I'm going to be using a 5mm. I was not able to find my other hooks 5mm in my other hook size, so I'm going to have to use this one. Basically, I have drawn the template out as to how I'm going to do the face, and we're going to get started. So we're going to start with a magic circle. And you're going to go up, and you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to do 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Now, you are going to need yellow for the face. So for the details, unless you just wanted to make an actual pumpkin. If you just wanted a pumpkin, you could just do straight orange, follow the details, and just not put the face in with the beads, because these will have beads on them. So this row, you will do 2 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're just going to continue on like that for this row. Now when I finish this row, I'm going to darn in that end, because as you can see, it is starting to come out and work its way out. This yarn does that. That's why it is really, really important to tie your ends in and darn it so that you don't get any movement that you don't want. See, you want it like that. And as you can see, it's already starting to pull out. So I'm going to tighten it up, and we're going to go from there. So for the base, you're just going to continue doing what I basically just did. So the increased stitch, or the stitches in between, and then the increased stitch. Right now, just going to get this darned in. I do hope to earn your like and subscription today. If you are a returning visitor, thank you. If you are new, I definitely hope to get your like and subscription today. I would love to hear you and any question, comments, or concerns you have below. If you just want to say hi, I'm all for that. If you have a channel and you want me to check it out, let me know and I'll check it out. So there's that. So now this one is going to be chain 2, single crochet, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So single crochet, 2 single crochets. And you're going to continue that for this row. Now you are going to continue increasing this way until you have 9 stitches in between each increase. So you'll have, this one has 1 stitch in between each increase. You will continue until you have 9. So I'm going to continue my way working. I will come back when we have 9 stitches in between each increase, and I will show you the next step. Okay, so I have my 9 increases, my 9 stitches, then the 2 increases. So what you're going to do is for 5 rows, you're just going to do the same thing. No increases, just if you get a stitch, you single crochet in it. No increases. If you want to put a stitch marker so you can count your 5 rows, like I said, you're gonna go around in a circle for 5 rows. I will come back when we have our 5 rows, and then we'll be starting the smile. So Just go around 5 rows. Okay, so this is what it'll look like when you got your 5 rows. Now you want to do a straight line to the center, or you go like that, and that is your center stitch. Now you're going to need to know that if you want the face away from your the back of your work where your first rows are, and you have that little bit of a line. If you don't like that and you want the face to be on the exact opposite, you do this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crochet so that's the center stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That I'm going to put another stitch marker, and that is where we're going to change color. And we'll actually start adding the glow-in-the-dark beads as well. So you're just going to single crochet all the way over, because that's pretty much what we're doing for the whole bag. It's just single crochet. Cut that off. Let me just angle that back a bit. And you're just going to go all the way over to that stitch marker you had. So I'm guessing the mouth I have here is going to be 10 stitches. But I will count that in just a second. And if you are wondering about this piece of paper, these are what I use for making beaded patterns. So they're a great option if you want to make something with knitting, and you know, something like this where you're going to use more of a color palette, and you just want to make sure that you have just a generalized pattern, and you just want to draw it out like that. These, that is a particular, I'm pretty sure that's a peyote pattern. They work really well, because if you notice, your stitches never line up 100%. They're always offset a little bit from one row to the next. And peyote does that too, for peyote beading, or peyote, or whatever you want to call it. So now that we've gotten to the first stitch, we're going to go in. I want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 9. So yes, 5 will be, should be the center stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is right. I have to move that. So now what you're going to do, and we are going to get a little complicated, because this is where I choose to use a second ball of orange instead of carrying it through, but you could do that easily enough. Where is my stitch? I'm going to have a heck of a yarn pull. Barf on this one, but that's all right. So there's my second orange yarn I will need after I do the mouth. So here's what we're going to do is come through. Now, I have another pattern that has gone up. It's a bagged pattern, and it does use these beads. And I did notice that it's not so easy to see the beads on them, on the pattern I did. So I thought I would do this again. This is what you want to do. Put the bead in. So this is a 3.5 millimeter needle hook, or 3.5 millimeter hook. I'm just going to leave that there. So we're going to do that. I'm going to take that stitch marker out for now. Now you're going to come through again. Grab it. Put off of there. Through, and you're going to do that 9 times. That's right, not 9, not 10, 9. It's 2. Do it again. Bead in center, pull through. 3. This is 4. I'm very much making sure that it is clearly seen on the camera this time. It was a new setup. I won't make excuses, but it really was a new setup for myself that I was learning to use. So I do apologize that I did watch farther, and you can see a little bit better of me doing it later on in the video, but I did notice it's not great, so I wanted to try it again. 5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I got to do 4 more. I'm going to pull that stitch marker out. 2. And this is another way to do it, is you know you have 9 stitches, so you grab 9 beads, and that way you know for a fact you only have 3 more left to do, because you counted out the right amount before you started or during it, so that way you know how many you're going to use and how many you're going to need. So that's 6. This is 7. No, wait, it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 8. And then this will be number 9. And this way, now you're just going to add the new orange strand. Because, actually you could trim instead of adding the new one. I'm just going to trim it. And we'll darn that one back in. This is how I originally learned how to use color. And you just want to really double and get it in there. Double it back so it cannot come out on you. And now you're going to finish the orange on this one off. Now your next row, you're going to go one before that. So the stitch before the orange will be yellow this time. So I'm going to trim yellow. And we will start. And we're just going to go all the way around using the orange now. So I will come back when I'm on the next row and I will show you how to do it. All right, so we've gotten back to it. So now I'm going to show you the next way you can deal with color. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out, and now you're going to do 11 of these ones. But what you want to make sure that it'll be different is you have the orange going across. So this will be 11 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there we have the 11 stitches, or 11 beads out. Through, held everything down, and come over. Now you're going to do that again. And you're going to do that for 11 stitches. Oops. You're just going to keep going. And as I said, you might see the orange in between, but at least this way it'll carry the orange over, so that way You don't have to trim it and darn it in if you don't want to do that. I just wanted to show a method that can be used so that way you don't have, you have multiple ways to do this if you'd like. But you're going to continually string the beads. Now, as if you really wanted to, this one is easy enough that you could go to the paperwork, count out exactly how many beads you'd need, and then you just string them on. Well, because we're not using, if you wanted to do yellow or just the straight orange without the yellow, I like the yellow behind because I think it gives you, behind the bead, because I think it gives you illumination to the bead. It allows the bead to stand out, especially when the bead is not glowing. So you can really see it when it's not glowing, because you can really see the mouth. Yeah. So I was just double checking that I was doing my math right, and I was saying I should, in my head, I should have about 2 more beads, and I did. So I got that right. Just gonna pull it down there, put it on this one, and that is the last yellow one. And as I said, I don't know if you can see the orange in there, but there is an orange string in there. But now you're going to, no. Now for the next row, I'm gonna trim the yellow. See, I prefer to trim and darn in because I think then you're getting a much more better look where you're not getting the orange in there, especially on this. But I did want to show you it, so it won't bug me too much if I can just, I only do one row where it is just this row. So we're going to turn that off. So the next, we're going to go all the way around using the orange again. And the next row, what we're going to do is it will be, yet again, one before, but it will be different. So I will show you how to do it when we get there. And I'll be back when we get to that part. Okay, so I've gotten to the stitch before again. Now I am going to trim. I'm going to change to yellow. Now this one is only going to be 2, then orange until that last stitch, and it's going to be 2 again. So I'm going to come in, like that. So 1, and then you're going to do that again. So that's 1 and 2. Now I'm going to trim. Now I'm probably not going to darn in the ends until I'm done this row, just because the next 2 rows will be orange alone. So it's 1. I'm going to go to the last 2, or to the last bead actually. So I'm just going to keep crocheting along. Now here's where we're going to change again. So I'm going to trim, grab, one. And then this one is 2. So now for the next 2 full rows, you're going to do orange around, and I will come back when we're going to start the nose. So I'm going to trim that as well. We're going to go back to the orange, and I will be back when I have the next 2 rows done. See you in a second. Okay, so I'm done my 2 rows. So now we're going to have to get the center again, because this is going to be where your next stitch is right there in the center. So you're going to follow with orange all the way to that one, and you will add a bead in that one for the nose. And so we're going to do that right now, all the way across to the nose. This one, because it's only 1 stitch, I'm not going to worry too much about casting off my darning off my yarn, just because it's only 1 stitch, so it won't be too big of a deal if I just keep going your single crochet all the way over to the center stitch, and then you're just going to do 1 yellow bead, and then the next row you'll do 2. So just gonna keep going. Just keep single crocheting around. And you just keep going around and around and around until you get to that center bead. And then you're just going to go all the way around to finish around. So here we are. He's going to die. All right, so now you're just going to pull this through, grab 1 bead, pull it through here, just like so. You want both threads through. Grab your yellow thread again. Grab those 2, and you're going to want to make sure your orange thread is going along. And then you want to switch here. And I do apologize, that is one of my cats making a noise, a very odd noise. We're going to take this out. We're going to trim. Oh, my blade is coming out on that again. I have to glue them in. And now you're just going to single crochet all the way down until you come back to this stitch. And that stitch will be, so you're going to do 2 stitches on top of it. So I will be back to show you that, and I will be back in a second. All right, so we're at the 1 stitch before, so we're going to do 3 now. Actually, we're going to 2. So I'm going to do 1 more. Not quite there yet. Oh, that one split on me. So here's this one. So we are going to do our yellow, and yet again, I think I'm just going to carry the orange across. So we're going to pull the orange up, grab a bead, put it on, go through, and a little tangled. We're going to come up, grabbing the second nose bead, and now once I'm done this, it's going to be at least another full row that I'm going to finish off here. So here we go. Oops, I'm going to do that. So there's the 2 nose beads, so my 3 nose beads. So now I'm going to trim the yellow. And I'm going to do a full orange row, and I will come back when I'm done that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the eye is right there. So the nose is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to single crochet over to just before that stitch. So you're just going to single crochet all the way over to this stitch, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we are there. So now I'm going to start the eye. Since it is only 3 and I am very close to the end, I am just going to continue on this way. I don't prefer to do it this way, but I am going to just for convenience. So this is going to be 3 that you're going to do. So 1, this is 2, so that one's 2, and now you're going to do 3. So here's your number 3. Grab your third bead, string it on, and then it's going to be so you're going to want to pull the orange up, trim the yellow. I'll turn that in later. Now you're going to want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is where we're going to start the next 3. So yet again, we're just going to travel with the yarn. So we're going to pull 3. There we go. So this is a little tangly, but 1, 2, and then here is number 3. Now the next row is going to be 2. So you're only going to do the 2 stitches and then the 1 stitch, and then you are going to be done the eyes. Oops. So I want to change the color. Trim that. And now you're going to be going all the way around, finishing off this row, and the next row is 2. So when you get to this stitch, I will be back. So now we're going to do 2. So we're just going to change color again. So you're going to come in, you're going to go, oops, and that one, and bring up, grab a bead, oop, there we go, grab a bead, pull through, one, number 2, we're going to go over to the next one. Just going to yet again, oops, and at the back, that, and then you're just going to do over 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to trim that off. We're going to do these 2, and then you're going to come, I'll be back after I do all the orange for the last one. Hello, Willow. Are you on the back of my chair, big boy? I'm just going to come in. Hello, Willow. Can I help you, buddy? Hi! You're up here, are you? You're coming into the screen, are you? Well, Willow says hi, apparently. Love the view, Willow. Love the view. Cats are always a joy to work with. Pull through. Pull through. And we're gonna... I'm just going to go all the way around, and I'll come back for the last stitch, and I'll show you how to go. All right, so now we are here to the top again of the eye, and what we're going to do is we're just going to grab this last eye piece, and then you're going to do 5 rows of single crochet in orange because you're done the yellow now. And there we go, that's 1. I'm just going to bring the yellow over through, like I said with the orange, because it's just a quick. I think this yellow, the orange won't be so. You want that one in orange, that one in yellow, and then we're going to go here in yellow. So this is the last bead you're putting on and the last bit of yellow you're going to do. So we are done with the yellow. Where did I just lose that? There we go. So there is that. So we are done with the beads now. And we are done with the yellow. So put that away. And now you are going to single crochet in orange for the next 5 rows. And then we're going to start a decrease row. So I will be back for the decrease rows to show you what we're doing. So 5 more rows and I will be back. All right, so now that I've gotten my 5 rows, I'm going to finish off because I'm not going to do, I don't need to do a decrease row on this bigger one, which I know I did more than 20 stitches. I probably did close to 15 or 30. So if you wanted to do that, you just do more on the bottom. But then these top rows after the 5, I did 5 decrease rows. So I probably did 5, a decrease, 4, a decrease, 3, a decrease, 2, a decrease, 1, a decrease. Then I did a couple of rows and then I did the green at the top. I'm not going to do that for this one. For this one, what I want to do is I'm going to darn this in. I'm going to find where I want to put the handle. So I'm just going to darn in the end. So all my ends are darned in. So I'm going to do everything. Power. You're rid of driving into the... What are you doing with my ball of yarn, big butt? Let go of that yarn. Gotta love cats. All right, so now what I want to do is grab right about here. Right, that one. So we're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you're just going to chain 2, turn, and this is your handle. So you're going to do this for about 7 inches. Oh, I'm going to have to get that ball of yarn from him or he's going to terrorize it to pieces. And you're just going to keep going. Now, one of my little tips here would be grab this. So come over to here. This will be where you're going to attach it. So I will come back and show you that when I'm done. All right, so I have my, I think I only did about 6 inches. Oh, I did 8.5 inches for the handle. So we're going to trim. And as I showed you, I have put that stitch marker in the spot where you're going to attach this. So you're going to hold it open on the inside like that. And you're just going to stitch up the handle. And if you want to make bigger, just add more rows to the circle one, the circular base. There we go. So there it is, tied in. There's the bag. So the handle is a little tight, which is what you want. You don't want to, I mean, you can have it looser. I like it a little tighter like that. But there it is. So there's your pumpkin bag. And I am going to, hopefully I will see you again. And I will be back again. Bye.